right, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I would like to give all praises, honor, glory, respect, and blessings to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Racha Kwadash. Salutations to the Lord's elect on the four quarters of the earth, pushing this truth and sincerity, while patiently waiting for Yahweh Shai's return, and double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone, which have taught us everything we know through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai. And welcome to another series of current worldwide events, being brought to you by the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai. This is the brother Yashamai coming back at you with another video.
Now here's another story to tell you about. Residents evacuated from their homes after a burst water main flooded a street in North London early this morning. Live to the scene and our correspondent Emma Birchley, who's in Camden. Goodness, Emma, what's happening?
Yeah, imagine this, a 42-inch water main has burst. So it's more than a metre in diameter, and if I step out of the way you can have a look, you'll see the water gushing up in the street there by the bollards. That's the point at which the water is coming out onto the road. It's pushed up loads of rubble and it's gushing down the hill, and we understand that 100 homes have been affected. People have had to be rescued, people have been moved up onto the first floor, but some people, 3 adults and a child, have been taken to a rest centre, and they've been taken there in rigid inflatable boats, so little boats brought here by the fire service, 60 firefighters, 8 fire engines, and also those 2 specialist teams that deal with flooding like this. I'm joined now by Station Commander Gary Deacon from the Old Kent Road and Peckham Fire Station. Hello, thank you for joining us. Tell us, what's the latest of what's happening?
Morning. So the London Fire Brigade were called here this morning at about 20 past 3. As you said, we've got 8 fire engines and 2 fire rescue units, which contain our specially trained level 2 water rescue technicians. We also do have a high volume pump in attendance, and that is pumping away approximately around about 3,500 litres of water per minute.
There's a lot of water there, isn't there?
There is, and as you quite rightly say, approximately about 100 properties have been affected by the floodwater here today.
So, you pretty much heard it. Over, thousands of liters of water have burst from a water main, which would be like a giant water basin. And because the water basin had bursted, now there's 1,900 people who are left without water in their region. Okay, and of course we know that this is all judgment coming from Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai. Okay, now one scripture that comes to my mind when I hear about this kind of thing is what? The Lord breaking that staff of bread. Okay, he did it before in the past concerning the Israelites, but now he's going to do it concerning both the heathen and the Israelites. The Lord is going to judge the heathen for what they did to the nation of Israel, and the Lord is also going to bring judgment on the Israelites for their iniquities, for their refusal to turn away from their sins. So right now there's a lot of Israelites down there that are without water in their homes, because what are these large water basins responsible for? Providing water to your homes. So we don't know if this water basin burst open because it was an inside job. We don't know if the Lord sent an angel to burst that water basin open. But what we do know is that there are 1,900 people down there without water. It says, when I shall send upon them the evil arrows of famine, Ezekiel 5 verse 16. It reads, when I shall send upon them the evil arrows of famine. The evil arrows of famine, right? Now, what is a famine? A famine is a shortage of water or food. In this case, these people are going through a shortage of water. Now you cannot drink water out of your faucet at your own house. You got to buy water if you want to drink water. Now, here in America, I would not recommend drinking water out of your faucet because you'll probably drop dead. But you know, as I was saying, you know, down there in London, their water is far more cleaner than the water here in America. So down there in London, you can actually drink the water out of your faucet. But here in America, you can't do that. There's all kind of things in your water that would mess up your mind. It would mess up your brain, your organs, and your body. Okay, but down there in London, their water is much cleaner. So they can actually drink out of the water from their faucets. But here, because the water basin has burst open, now there's people down there in London who are not receiving water. That means they cannot bathe themselves. You know, if they want to bathe themselves, they're gonna have to buy gallons upon gallons of water, which could be very expensive. You know, just imagine spending $50 a day on water just to heat it up, just so you can bathe yourself in it. Imagine having to buy gallons of water just so you just to wash your dishes. So not having water come through in your home can be hell. Okay. So when I shall send upon them the evil arrows of famine, which shall be for their destruction. Yeah, and ultimately the Lord is bringing this famine, which will be for their destruction, okay? Which I will send to destroy you, and I will increase the famine upon you. And indeed, the Lord is increasing the famine. And a part of how he's doing that is by taking away their water supply. And will break their staff of bread. What is your staff of bread talking about? When the Lord said he would break your staff of bread, that's talking about the main source of where your food comes from. Now, I have said this before in the past, so I'll say it again. Okay? I have said it before, I'll say it again. In the past, right, you know, the government have hired agents to destroy particular food factories. Okay? Because the main source of where your food comes from, which is your staff of bread, is what? These farmers, these different food factories, which is what? Responsible for packaging, processing, and putting your food in boxes to put them on the back of food trucks so the food trucks can deliver those food to your grocery stores. So the US government, the Illuminati, so by the orders of the so-called elites, by the Illuminati through these different governments in these different countries, the governments have hired agents to burn down particular food factories, which are responsible for packaging your food and putting them on food trucks, processing and packaging your food, right? These food factories are being burned down, which is what? Increasing a famine. Okay, these different farmers, they are being paid millions of dollars. Okay, these farmers are being paid a lot of money by the government to what? To kill off their chickens and their turkeys under the pretense of what? A bird flu. There's no such thing as a bird flu. The bird flu was invented by the government so that way they can justify the farmers killing off these chickens by the hundreds of thousands to the millions. Which is what? Increasing a famine. So this famine that is being brought upon the world is being systematically done. Okay, these farmers are being paid to destroy their crops, their vegetables, their fruits, their grains. Meanwhile, you got Bill Gates that is buying up all these different farmlands. Why? Because ultimately, the so-called elites, they want control of all the food. Okay, that way, in the time of Jacob's trouble, when hell breaks loose in America, the government can be the one to ration out the food to the people. Now we know that a grocery store can only carry up to 3 days worth of food, right? So when people go raiding these grocery stores and stuffing their grocery carts full of food and running out of the grocery stores without paying, that's going to lead to what? A shortage of food. because a grocery store can only carry up to 3 days worth of food. So you know what's going to happen? That's going to be it's going to become a trend, a chain reaction. Many different grocery stores are going to be raided, and they're going to be empty on food. Especially if a grocery store is being raided by hundreds of people, that grocery store is going to be emptied on food overnight. Okay. So then when there's no more food in the grocery stores, when people has run out of food, then what? Then people is going to run to the government for help, which is going to have, pretty much the world's resources, food, supplies, all that shit. And the only way you're going to receive help, from the government is if you take the CHIP, the CHIP. If you take the CHIP, you're going to be destroyed. Okay, the Lord will not have mercy on you. And now this message goes to the Israelites, which are the so-called Negro, Latino, and Native Indians. If you take the CHIP, the Lord will destroy you. Okay, you're going to die in that nuclear fire, which is going to take place during World War III. Okay, the nuclear fire is going to come from those nuclear warheads, which is going to be shot off via intercontinental ballistic missiles by Russia and other countries which hate America. So, and other parts of the world is going to be hit with nukes, but the land of Israel and here in America is going to be the main targets of this nuclear war. So the Lord is literally using the left-hand side to break what? The staff of bread, which is the main source of where your food comes from. So with that, I'm going to say Shalom is on to the next one.